The role of a community counselor, one of my coworkers always says our job is to help au pairs have a meaningful experience. So that's the au pair side. We want to help you have a meaningful au pair experience, and we want to help host families have a meaningful exchange experience as well, and most importantly for both parties to feel supported. My role as a community counselor, every day is different. Some days I'm visiting host families and inspecting their homes to make sure that the home and the bedroom is suitable for an au pair. Sometimes I'm planning cluster meetings and taking au pairs to a basketball game at our local college. The most important thing is to make sure that everyone's following the rules and the regulations of the program. So that's probably the most important part of my job, is making sure everyone's doing what they're supposed to be doing. And then second to that is making sure everyone is happy. And so yeah, it's something different every day. Very different day to day, but it's very fun and I love it. I love my au pairs, I love my host families, I love the program. My day as a community counselor can be a little crazy. I will say that some days start out looking one way and then they turn another way. So maybe I say, today I'm going to go out and drop off brochures to make sure that all the families in my neighborhood know about Au Pair in America. And then the phone rings. And it's an au pair who is having an issue getting a driver's license. So now I get in my car and I drive to her and I help her. And then I think, okay, now I'm going to take my brochures to the neighborhood to tell all the families about Au Pair in America. And then I get an email and it says like, I have a host family who needs help with so-and-so. So boop, off I go and I do the host family thing. And so then I think, now I'm really gonna take those brochures to the families in my neighborhood. So there are a lot of days that are like that, where you have a plan and it kind of goes out the window, but it's never boring. And it's always nice to hear after an au pair, if they have a challenge or a problem after they get it solved, that they're happy, or when they're going home and they say, thank you so much, you know, it was because of your support I was able to do this, or so it's kind of crazy day to day, but very fulfilling overall. So the type of people who become community counselors are, I would say, a wide variety of people, but they all possess the same types of qualities. So in the time since I was a community counselor myself, I have started interviewing and hiring new community counselors all over the country. And when I hire a new counselor, I'm looking for someone who has a passion for something. So they have a passion for travel, or they have a passion for working with young children, or they have a passion for working with 20-somethings. So it's not always the same, but I'm looking for someone who has, like I said, a passion or a fire or an interest in something related to the program. The most touching moment I have experienced being a community counselor was probably a few years ago. We had a cultural fair. So once a year, every cluster has a host family day where they invite the host families to come and learn something about cultural exchange. But one of the things that you can do during a host family day is a cultural fair. And it was in Washington, D.C. It was at the Washington Nationals baseball stadium, which is this huge baseball stadium. And all of the au pairs from all over the Washington, D.C. area were supposed to come and represent their countries. So each country has their own table, and they have food from their country and music from their country and money and just everything you would want to know. And then the host families come with their host children and tour around and visit all of the countries. And the kids get passports and stickers, and it's wonderful. And then we had also planned, I think, 10 performances. So there were dances and singing and guitar. It was wonderful. And the day of the cultural fair, it was pouring rain. So all of the counselors are standing there thinking, are the au pairs going to come? Because some of them came from miles and miles and miles, very far away. They came on the train and the metro and by car and bus, and they come in their national dress, so they're dressed in these exquisite outfits from their home countries. I was standing there with one of my colleagues, and we turned around and all of these girls are coming off of the metro, walking with their posters and their skirts and their songs and their guitars, and they all came. So there were, I don't know, hundreds of au pairs, hundreds of host families and children, and it was truly touching and moving. I cried more than once that day. I really love seeing au pairs share their culture and talk about their home countries. It's really special. Probably the funniest moment that I've experienced was I took an au pair from Poland. Her name is Marika, and she went with me to Washington, D.C. to talk to our lawmakers about how important the program is and how important the exchange visa program is. And Marika is one of my favorite au pairs of all time. And we were touring all over the government buildings. And before we went to tour around and talk to the lawmakers, they told us, do not get on the train underneath the buildings. It's only for the lawmakers. Well, wouldn't you know, Marika and I ended up on the train below the buildings. It was fine. And we went to one of the lawmakers from Maryland to her office, and Marika kept whispering in my ear, her last name sounds Polish, her last name sounds Polish, I know she's Polish. And so we Googled it really quickly, and it turned out that this lawmaker had Polish roots. And Marika busted into that office, just opened the door and said, the woman's name is Barbara Mikulski, hello, Barbara? Is Barbara here? Tell Barbara Marika says hello. And I laughed and laughed. She made an impression. That was what we were there to do, was to tell people about the program. And I promise you the people in that office will never forget Marika from Poland. So after my au pairs returned home, I let them be friends with me on Facebook. So I do keep in touch with them. I follow them in their lives, and they go home, they get married, they have families, they go on other adventures. I have other au pairs who they are an au pair in America, and then they go to Australia and do some other exchange program. So yes, I am very much in touch with them. I love following along with their lives. They feel like part of my family. I have a son of my own, and he's gotten to know many of my au pairs, so sometimes they'll send letters to him or cards. And it's really, it's a really special relationship. I feel very honored to be tasked to take care of them while they're in my country.